Hey there viewers, and it is day 21 of the website design challenge, and we are doing a design for a send friend, which is to purchase goods and services without a bank account. My name is Roy, I'm a web designer, and if you like the content, please leave a comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm going to slow down some key areas of the design. So let's get into the challenge. Okay, so we are now into the video, and this is just the usual routine of putting the text on the frame and then just trying to break it down and see what could be a good heading. Purchase goods and services without a bank account. I thought that was pretty short and sweet. And then I just put the CTA below, download on the App Store, and then just put an arrow down icon. So what we're going to do is just highlight a bit of typography on headings, and this is a very simple tip on how to improve your headings. So here we're slowing it down to real time, and I'm changing the line height to 115%, and the letter spacing I'm tightening it to -2 or 3%, and this you can always play around with. The reason why is because it's larger text, so you can reduce the space, and the space between the lines or the text, you can also reduce that. You don't have big gaps, so please give that a try. And then now we're back into speed up version. But yes, in terms of typography, it's definitely something you should practice. Just being mindful of headings. So the landing page, the hero section has got a big heading. Usually the bigger the font size, then or the bigger the heading and the less the characters, then you want to tighten the line height. As opposed to a paragraph, which is long text, you would then want to give the line height more. You want to increase it like 150% or 175%. It's to give it more breathing room. Yeah, just basic typography, and also when the text is larger, you can decrease the letter spacing, and that would also reduce some gaps. And then here I'm just using the same technique with icons. And the nice thing about this is I think I've created a frame, and I've used auto layout on there, or maybe not. But the nice thing about auto layout is you can just space the items automatically. You just type in 100 pixels, it will space it out for you rather than having to drag it out. And now what I'm trying to do is just find an appropriate image to represent purchasing goods and services. And I'm just thinking this is going to be all through a mobile phone, because you know, quite a lot of people now have mobile phones. Well, I don't have the stats, but so here, yeah, I'm just looking for suitable pictures, and this is all on Pexels again. And I like to find pictures where they just have a positive look or smile. I think that always improves the mood of the page, just to keep it positive. And I think what I end up doing now is I just leave that first frame and then copy and paste a new frame, because it's a nice good reference to just to see where you've started. And back in the old days of layers on Photoshop, you'd just have so many layers, but here you can just copy the frame across. Here I'm trying out two pictures side by side, just to try it out, but I don't think that's going to work, because you're not really seeing anything in the image where they're purchasing something. They might be. That's the other thing about finding images that are really gonna sum up the business. So here I'm looking at shopping, and there's one fellow who has a bunch of bags with sell sign on it. So I thought about maybe going with that image, and that could probably represent the business. But you can also purchase services as well. So this could be your home services, your electrician, plumber. You could pay that service through the startup. But I try to keep it simple, stick to shopping. And now I'm looking at services. What could be a good service? I thought about a car mechanic, so someone with a car in the background. I thought that might be useful, but I thought, okay, I'm going to stick to the guy with the bags. And I'm still looking, and I'm going back and forth between Unsplash and Pexels. It's a really good battle between them two for stock photography, or well, really good photography. And here his head is not showing his eyes, but anyway, so I'm just placing it in, seeing how it looks, and now we're gonna end up going on to the real-time version, and let's see what I plan to show. Oh yes, so the gradients, there's these mesh gradients that you can find. If you just type in mesh gradients in Google, you'll come up with one which is on products.is.graphics. They have these mesh gradients that you can download already. The nice thing about these is they're not your typical gradient where it's linear. They just have a nice look to them, and I think if you use it here and there, I think it can bring out the page, so it could be really good as a background. So I thought, to bring some color to the page, I thought, yeah, why don't we use a mesh gradient? So all I'm doing here, I'm just planning where to place it, and in this case I'm going to place it right on the left, just to balance the image on the right, but not actually take up the whole height. So again, you could just experiment with the layout. And again, that's the nice thing about this challenge, you could just play around. So they are making the main CTA pop out like it's a phone or a card that's sticking out. And now anyway, we're back into the speed up version. I think again I'm trying to look for any other images that could represent a service, like a painter. I do end up going with a mechanic, so I'm looking at home improvements, but I'm struggling to find something that I think could fit well, which is why it's always safe to fall back to a person using a mobile phone, and that's quite a common thing to use. I'm pretty sure we could come up with something better with more time. But again, that's the nice thing about the challenge, you're time boxing yourself, so there's constraints with it, which I find really good. So here I found a mechanic. I thought that's quite a nice picture. Does that really represent the business? The business about purchasing goods. I'm thinking about crypto possibly, so I thought maybe for the common person, or maybe because Christmas is coming up, maybe purchasing goods might be a better sell. So what I'm doing here, I'm trying to make a card where you're seeing this glass effect, or a blurred effect. So this is, again, we're going to go into real time and see how I do this, if I remember correctly. So I put a background blur, and then I have a background of white, and then I reduce the opacity, and then the background blur, which I'm not showing, there you can play around with the values of 50, 100, as long as you're satisfied with the blur in the back, as you can see there. And then I put a 1 pixel border white on the inside. So I'm experimenting with thickness, but I think generally you get 1, so it's that nice sharp border around the card or the phone. So I'm just placing it above both images just to make it stand out, or make it feel like it appears above both images. And again, I'm experimenting with the mesh gradient being the full height, but I thought that the icons could, if they were to be on white, I think they'd just stand out a lot more. And then the idea is to encourage the user to scroll down. I would then have like a dashboard on one of the icons pointing down, which is the gift. So that might encourage the user to say, oh, gifts, okay, let's check this out. And now I'm just looking for any other mesh gradients, playing with color. Maybe that the previous one was too strong, so I went with a much lighter one. So I thought, yeah, this is a lot lighter. The contrast is a lot better with the logo and the nav. So now well, I haven't used a plugin to check the contrast exactly, but the background's lighter. And then I'm just testing how it looks in the middle, but I thought, yeah, that's probably too much. And then one thing to point out as well, as we're going to get to the real-time version, is photos. As you see right there, oh, I didn't slow it down, but I just flipped it to the right. So we are going to go to the slow down version. I flip it horizontally, so now the person is facing the CTA. She's not looking away or the other way. You want her to look in the direction that you want your user to look, even though she's not looking perfectly that way, but her body is facing the CTA. And that is a really simple thing to do, but very effective. It makes a big difference just flipping it to the direction of your CTA or the heading. I think that's really nice. So yeah, we are coming to the end of the video, and as you can see there, I'm putting a dash border and going down off the page. So again, if you do like the content, if you do like these slowed down versions of different design bits in the whole design, then let me know in the comments. Let me know how you're getting on, and have a good morning, afternoon, evening, or wherever you are. Thanks for anyone that has subscribed and hit a thumbs up on there. I do appreciate it. It means a lot. And yeah, just keep up with the challenges and take care. Bye.